Amber Heard does cocaine in court. Well, wait till the end of the video because I'm gonna give you my opinion on whether she actually does a, open quotes, Kleenex bump of cocaine when she's in court. Now, she's taken the stand much like Johnny has, and I'll leave everybody to their own opinion, but I watched Johnny Depp take the stand and I felt he was credible. He was laid back. I felt he was conversational. I thought he was credible. Now with Amber Heard, it's a totally different vibe. Now, whenever there's a jury trial, the judge is going to read the jury instructions before they go and deliberate. One of those jury instructions always is about the credibility of witnesses, and it reads something to the effect of, whenever anybody is on the stand, the jury is supposed to use their everyday common sense, knowledge, and experience and watch that person's mannerisms, how they testify on the stand, look at their biases and motives, and also look at the reasonableness of their testimony in light of the other evidence. And we're going to look at some of her testimony, and I think it's clear that her testimony is not reasonable. I do not believe that she's credible. And I think the biases and prejudices, meaning like she wants money, she wants fame, I think those things come forward way more than the credibility that she possesses on the stand. In fact, I find her very uncredible, and it's right from the beginning.
I struggle to have the words. I struggle to find the words to describe how painful this is.
So right there, when you look at her, you got to look at the manner in which she's testifying on the stand. And, you know, listen, you didn't struggle for the words when you wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post, so why are you struggling for words now? You knew about this trial, you had months to prepare, you had lawyers to prepare you, and you're struggling. The first question out of the gate that your lawyer asks you, which was definitely planned, this is the response. I struggle for the words. Well, we're going to see here later that she clearly doesn't struggle for the words. So I find it right off of the hop. I find her very uncredible.
He was telling me we're gonna conduct a cavity search, shall we? Like, just shoved his fingers inside me.
Okay, listen. Now, if that's true, that's horrific and horrible. However, I don't get the feeling it's true when I watch her testify. Now, granted, have I seen anybody testify about this sort of allegation and seen how they present themselves? No, but it doesn't matter. It only matters how Amber Heard is presenting herself. And with her frustrated face, I don't believe it. There's no tears. It's crocodile tears. Her face is dry. Zoom in on her face right now. Look at that. There's no tears on her face. And in fact, again, let's just look at the logistics of it. Right then, she's talking about him doing this cavity search in a mobile home. Okay, so there's very limited space, and she's standing up. Okay, so how does that work? Think of it logistically. If he's going to search the inside of her vagina for cocaine, is he going to do it with her standing, and she's just going to stand there and stand straddling with her legs open, buck naked in the middle of a trailer, in the middle of a trailer park for him to do this and stick his fingers up her? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. If it doesn't smell right, it's likely not right. And we continue to see that with her further testimony.
He had a broken bottle up against my face, neck area by my jawline, and he told me he'd carve up my face. I felt this pressure on my pubic bone, and he thought he was punching me.
Okay, look at, again, horrific. Zoom in on her face again, though, and let's look. There is no tears. Her face is as dry as it can be. Okay, so maybe you say, well, some people don't cry. Okay, but they don't cry over the most horrific of allegations against someone. That's how she presents. That is not credible. I do not believe a jury's going to find her credible. And just the way in which that she's talking about it. Listen, if someone was violating you with a bottle, I think you'd clearly remember. I think you'd be emotional. I think you'd be somber on the stand. You'd be upset, yes, but this upset is not authentic in my opinion. It is not. They're crocodile tears. She's putting on a performance for the jury, and I see exactly why we haven't seen her in more movies, because she's a horrible actress. Even right here, she's horrible. When Johnny testified, you compare his testimony to hers, he was cool, calm, and collected. He was presenting the truth. I believe she's making shit up. She's always made shit up, and she continues to. And I believe the jury is seeing through it. And I do not believe she's going to be successful.
I hate you. I hate you. Over and over. Hate you. And then pounding the back of my head, pounding it with his fist.
Okay, does that look like someone who had their face buried in the bed with someone on top of her yelling how much they hate her and punching her in the back of the head? Okay, where's the witnesses? Where's the pictures to this? Okay, how come she didn't go to a hairdresser and get the pictures taken of the back of her head? How come she never presented at the hospital? Now, granted, sure, victims of domestic abuse or abuse at all can be reluctant to come forward, 100%. But we're not talking about someone who is reluctant to come forward. We're talking about someone who drafted an op-ed and posted in the Washington Post. So you no longer can sit there and say that this is embarrassing, that this is private. You're the one that made it public. So then when you're on the stand testifying about it, it has to come across credible, and it just doesn't. Do I believe Johnny was saying like, I effing hate you? 100%, because he probably did. Do I believe that he was hitting her in the back of the head? I do not. There's no one that's come forward and testified about that either way. I believe she's making it up, and I believe her testimony on the stand says exactly that it's made up. Now here, listen, this is the final one. Remember, her face has been dry. We've pulled up 2 close-ups now, a very emotional testimony where it did not appear that her face was wet at all. And now she has a Kleenex, like she's wiping her nose. I don't think she ever wipes her face, but okay, if you're wiping your nose, it's because your nose is running, because you're upset, because you've been crying. We don't see that. So why does she have the Kleenex? Is it to do what pop culture is saying is a Kleenex bump of cocaine? Let's check it out. Okay, for one, I do not believe that she did cocaine. And this is a couple reasons, right? She brings the Kleenex up to her face and she does pause. But as she pauses, if you can see the illumination from the screen onto her face, the illumination changes, meaning a new picture showed up on her monitor. And I think she just pauses to look at it. There's no head back. This nostril doesn't come in at all. So again, I think maybe the public is getting a little too much on Amber Heard's case. Have I found her to be full of shit and not credible on the stand? 100%. But do I believe that shows her doing cocaine? Listen, she's got to be like Charlie Manson-like level of psychotic to take cocaine into a courtroom when you're on the witness stand, feet away from a judge, do cocaine? Come on, guys. I don't think that that's believable at all. I believe that's as believable as her testimony, which means nothing. I'm interested to hear what everybody else has to say, because there's been a lot said about this. Please leave your comments, questions below. Please subscribe. As always, I appreciate the support. Peace.